Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jerry Mack. I'm with Teachers Retirement System. Thank you for joining us today for Drop 411. We're going to talk all about Drop, and it is our Turkey Tuesday, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And I am your helpful reminder with my turkey hat, with my turkey earrings, double turkey earrings. If you need to get your turkey out of the freezer and let it defrost, now is the time to do so, friends. You're welcome. So first, before we get started, I do have a quick question. Y'all know I love the little dad jokes while y'all are kind of joining in on the webinar and such. Cliff Horn, my colleague, is going to be in the background trying not to laugh too hard at all of my amazing jokes. And he is going to be adding in comments into the chat box. So anything I reference, he's going to be talking about it. But while we're getting ready, I have a question I'm going to ask everybody. Why did the cranberry blush? Why did the cranberry blush? Cliff, do we know? I know. It saw the turkey dressing. You're welcome. Kids are going to love that. So just to keep us all focused, I am going to take my little hat off. Yay. And I am now going to talk to y'all about important stuff. We are recording this webinar right now, so you might be watching this on our YouTube page. You could be watching it live. We really appreciate you taking the time today and setting in with us and spending a little time. Everyone except myself and my colleague will be muted. So if you have any questions, just type your questions into the Q&A box. Cliff will be sending things out to you through the chat box, links and such. And I'll do the same when he and I switch over at about the halfway point. So think about, what do you want to learn today? Is there a burning question you have about drop that you want to write down and make sure we actually address? We're going to circle back to that a little bit later. So here's what we are talking about today: participating in drop. What happens during drop participation? How was your drop deposit calculated? Ending drop participation. What happens if you want to continue working? And how is the time after drop calculated? So you've heard a lot of things. We're here to tell you what's true. Some things you've heard are a little bit true, not true. We're here to clarify all that. And what about retirement after drop? What forms should you complete? And how and when will your benefit be paid? So 3 things to understand about drop. First of all, you take the time to educate yourself. You've taken the time to be here or watch this video. What happens to your salary while you're in drop? What exactly is being deposited in the drop account? Is it your 8% contributions? No, it is not. It is what would have been your retirement check had you retired. Number 2, I'm sure they're amazing humans because you picked them. Don't listen to your friends. What may or may not be right for you may be different from your friend because we all have different circumstances. That being said, there's nothing wrong with getting general information and some circumstances. Like, I like to convene the committee when I'm going to make a decision. Find out from people, okay, what do you wish you had known about drop? Do you wish you had done drop? Do you wish you hadn't done drop? What did you misunderstand, or what had you always known to be true? So get that from people. But when it comes to numbers, dates, and amounts, anything with numbers, you want to get that directly from us or from your employer. And number 3, as educators, you already know, there's a form for practically everything, whether you're entering drop, exiting drop, taking funds out of drop, however it works out. Drop is an optional program. No matter how much peer pressure you get, you are not required to participate in drop. It is an optional program. It allows you to save what would have been your retirement check every month while you're still working. So instead of retiring, we can't give you a second check, right? I mean, that'd be great, but we can't give you a second check. So your retirement check comes and waits over here in a drop savings account up to 36 months. No more than 36 months, but it can be less than that. You don't have to do all 3 years of drop. You might just do drop for the rest of a school year. You might just do drop for 18 months. It's completely up to you. The minimum time is just 1 day. Nobody ever says, oh, a day of drop, that's perfect, just what I need, y'all. But that means that circumstances change. There are lots of reasons people exit drop early. So every month while you're still working, month 1, month 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 36, we are saving what would have been your retirement check. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 36. Now, this drop account, it's an account that we hold for you, and we save these funds for you while you're participating. It's locked in and frozen. So it's based on your years going into drop and your highest average salary, your 3 or 5 consecutive years, your highest salary. Your decision to participate is irrevocable, but that doesn't mean that you're committed to all 36 months of drop. You can retire at any point in time. You can apply up to 12 months before your drop window opens. So you don't have to wait until that exact moment that you enter drop. You absolutely can apply up to 12 months in advance, but that's not a requirement. Still, I'd say a good 6 months in advance, even 4 months, you're still in good shape. There's a lot of paperwork that goes back and forth. So what is the drop window? You've heard a lot about the drop window, and I'm going to just tell you, it's a squeaky thing. And the reason why I say it's squeaky is that window opens and it will start to close on you. It's not being held up really well, right? So it's going to go, it opens for you, boom, your 3 years opens. And then you have to decide and participate. So if you're 1 year into your drop window and you say, hey, I'm ready for drop now, you've got 2 years left. If you're 2.5 years into your drop window and you say, I'm ready for drop now, you have 6 months left. It's not rollover minutes. Doesn't just stay with you. Know that it opens and it will start to close. So I recommend to people, and I'm not a financial advisor, neither is my colleague Cliff, but we recommend that you think within a couple of years of your drop window opening, is this going to be for me? So when the decision comes up of a hurry up, what are you going to do? You will already have had time to think about it when you're not trying to make a decision at that moment. So yes, you have up to 3 years to participate when your drop window opens if you choose to do so. Now, here's the most important thing to know about your drop window, besides what is your drop window, which today we don't have the capability to give everyone their drop window in the Q&As. That would be a lot for us to do, but I'll tell you where you can find your drop eligibility window, which is going to be your fiscal year that your drop window opens, okay? So it means your date will be within that 12-month period. You can see it whenever you're about to do an estimate at trsl.org in Member Access, or in Member Access, if you're on your member account statement, page 2 will show you your eligibility for retirement and your eligibility for drop, which may be the same, and for some of us may be a little bit different. But the most important thing to know about your drop window is you do not choose it. It chooses you based on when you joined our system and how many years you have in, and in some cases, your age. So be very aware of that. So here is drop eligibility. And again, this is just general information. We're not giving out people's windows today, but check with your employer, check on that TRSL site. Like I said, page 2 of your member statement, or upon doing an estimate, or you can reach out to us at asktrsl.org for that drop window. If you joined our system prior to January 1st, 2011, you're looking at age 60 with 10, 55 at 25, any age with 30 years. Now, the 60 at 10 is at the 2% benefit factor. We will speak more on this in a few more slides. So just kind of hold that for a moment, because people at the 2% benefit factor, perhaps drop was not their friend, so to speak. Perhaps it may not have been as beneficial to participate in drop at the 2% factor than instead at the 2.5% factor for service retirement. Our group from January 1st, 2011 to June 30th, 2015 is 60 with 5. And anyone that's joined us after July 1, 2015 is age 62 with 5. Now, this is for our regular plan. If you're a Plan B member, please note that in the Q&A, if you're a Plan B member, which is select parishes throughout our state in the school lunch program. Some of you may be school lunch, but you're under regular plan, but some are in what's called Plan B. So your eligibilities are going to be different. Now, when it comes to your drop window, 55 at 25, that's where many people may find themselves, right? So you may not be exactly 55 at the moment you hit 25 years. So think of it, you have to check both boxes. Like retirement, you've heard Cliff talk about it, you've heard me talk about it. You got to check both boxes. But with drop, it's a window that will close on you, okay? With retirement, it's a door you walk through anytime after you're eligible. Drop is not a anytime, take your time scenario. So 55 at 25 years, you might be 56 before you have 25 years of service. Or you might have 28 and a half years of service by the time you turn 55. So that's going to move around a little bit. Any age at 30 is self-explanatory as long as you're not yet age 55. So if you're age 55 with 30 years, rather, I'm sorry, let me back that up a second. If you're age 58 with 30 years, you may have already missed some of your drop time. Okay, so keep in mind, it's not which one you choose. Remember, it chooses you. So the way that people sometimes miss their drop window is they think they're making the choice. They see 55 at 25 and say, okay, that's great. At 55, I'll have 27 years. I'll just wait until 30 years. If you do in that scenario, that person will not have a drop for them. So drop is not a wait and see opportunity. Retirement is, drop is not. So just know it's a hurry up and you want to take some time to think about it in advance. So for some of you listening, some of you are here to learn more about what exactly is this drop thing, right? And some of you are already in drop, and some of you may be working after drop. So for those of you in drop, remember your retirement option that you select on your affidavit. That's what you'll see on your retirement estimates for those of you still actively working, not your 8% contributions. It's what would have been your retirement check goes into your deposit every month for your drop account. The option chosen is a permanent choice. You don't get to choose another option when you retire. So you submit an application to enter drop, not to retire. We calculate your benefits and send you an official estimate. This is sent to you as an affidavit that needs to be notarized and mailed back into our office. You return that to us, and that's when you choose your retirement option. What is the same while you're in drop? So you continue to work, you draw a salary, you're earning leave, you're using leave, you're still eligible for raises or promotions, and you can even change jobs or employers. Your drop deposits will continue as long as there is no break in service. But what is different while we're in drop? What's different? First of all, friends, it's not on here. You, my friend, you are different. You wake up in the morning with, I can do this. Not only can I see the forest of the trees, I know where the forest is, or I can see the tunnel. Forget the light. I'm not the light yet, but I can see the tunnel. So you're on your way. Neither you nor your employer make contributions to TRSL. So you're not contributing 8% into the system, and you're not earning service credit. So what you're doing is what I like to call the swap for drop. You're swapping one opportunity for another. So instead of increasing your future retirement check by paying into our system, you are saving what would have been your retirement check up to 36 months. You're swapping one out for the other. So when you get out of drop, let's say you enter drop at 30 years, you get out of drop 3 years later, you're still at 30 years of service credit. Your body worked 33 years, but for TRSL purposes, you're at 30 and you have a drop account that would reflect those 3 years of savings. Your salary is not reported to us while you're in drop, so we don't know if it goes up or down. And your retirement benefit is in fact frozen. The option that you choose determines how much is deposited into your account. If you don't work after drop participation and retire, it is what was going into your drop account. So your drop account, people ask us all the time, how long should I work? I mean, how much should I save in my drop account? It's completely up to you. In this particular case, this member signed up for the maximum option, which was $23.56. So that's what's going to go into the account every month. Federal taxes come out on the back end once you're drawing on it. So 12 months yields $28.2, 24 months yields $56.5, 36 months yields $84.8. So depending on how many months you're in drop, you might be in drop 8 months, you might be in drop 18 months, anything up to 36 months. At any point, you can retire. Those drop account statements you're going to find online through Member Access are going to be quarterly. The information on the statements will be your deposits, which are during drop after retroactive deposit. So once you first enter drop, you may notice for a few months, nothing. Nothing's going on. Like, wait a minute, where's my money? As long as you know that we received it and you submit an affidavit, you're good to go. We have to go back and catch you up with a retroactive deposit. Withdrawals will be on those statements, and that's after one has officially retired. And interest, as in after drop participation, even if you're working after drop, your account is eligible to earn interest. A word on those interest rates, as I'm sure many of you are aware, those rates changed after January 1st, 2004. They're in more of a conservative account. The liquid asset money market rate, less a 0.25 admin fee. You can definitely look up more information on trsl.org to see over time what those rates have been. For 2024, the average interest rate was 4.9703, and that is actually pretty good. Think about. Your options after drop participation, Globe or school books, depending on what you choose. After your 36 months are up or within those 36 months, you can retire. Once we retire, we start receiving monthly benefits and we begin accessing the TRSL drop account with those withdrawals. Think of TRSL as a produce stand, okay? Your fruits and your veggies. Your fruits are the monthly retirement benefit for the rest of your life. Every month, you can be 99 years old and you're still going to get that fruit salad delivered to you the first of every month. That's the fruits of your labor. The veggies, that could be your drop account. The veggies, at some point, it's going to zero out. Depends on, do we take all our veggies at once? Do we spread our veggies out over 10 or more years? Do we spread our veggies out over like a lump sum and then go back to monthly? Cliff's going to talk about those options later as far as what we're going to do with our drop account. If we continue to work after drop, the drop deposits stop. So there won't be any more deposits. And then, so what we're doing is we're switching back. So now you're going to start having 8% coming out of your check, and that will regain your contribution. So if we get out after drop, if we work 6 months, if we work a year, if we work 5 years, that's going to be reflective in a supplemental benefit, which will increase our retirement check, our fruits. It's not going to impact our drop account, which is our veggies. So if we work after drop, how's that calculated? The formula is very similar to what you went into drop with. Your years of service credit, but we're looking at after drop. Your benefit factor, it's the same benefit factor you went in with. If you went in with a benefit factor of 2%, you'll always be at 2%. And that's just for a few of you. But you'll state your 2% benefit factor if that's what you went in with, times our final average compensation. That's our 3 or 5 highest consecutive years of service. That gives us our after drop supplement. Any amount of time worked after drop. There's no minimum. You may work 4 months after drop. You may work 4 years after drop. You might just work 1 year. You might just want to finish out the school year or finish out a calendar year. Completely up to you. Any of that counts. Now, you've heard things about 3 years and you heard things about 5 years. That's not a requirement for working after drop. That's how do we calculate the supplement if someone works after drop. So that formula we went over is our years of service times our 2.5%, some of you 2%, times our highest consecutive years of service. So if we only work 1 year after drop, that's not 3 years. So we can't multiply 3. So that's 1. So we don't have a 3-year average for 1 year. So those 3 years, we use the average number from our time before drop. But if we're in the 3-year category and we work 3 or more years, or on the other side, 5 or more years, then we're looking at the time after drop to calculate the years after drop only. I want to be crystal clear. Right here is a question we get often. Well, when do they recalculate? When do they recalculate? Can't stand the word recalculate. I don't think legal likes us using the word recalculate. So there's not a recalculation. I just want to be really, really clear. When you go into drop, friends, let's say 25 years, 30 years, you go into drop, your years, 25 or 30, for example, going into drop is going to be calculated and locked in, AKA frozen, based on the years of service and how you were paid going into drop. So if you find yourself working after drop 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, those years are calculated on your highest salary post drop. We will never go back to recalculate the 25 or 30 years, for example, going into drop. That's what frozen means. So just so we're clear, we're talking about money after drop if we do choose to work after drop. So if you find yourself working after drop, you want to stop and think, hey, wait a minute, self, what's my value? So for this particular person, every year working after drop was $94. $94 yielded them. We added to their fruits. So their base check was $23.56, 94, boom, one check, $24.50, and then you're still drawing on those vegetables through that drop account once we officially retire. 3 years, this person right here, their supplement is going to be $300. They had a higher FAC after drop, but that only reflected in those 3 years. Notice the base benefit did not change based on their, let's say, 25 or 30 years going in. So things to think about if you're not already on drop. Is drop right for you? So we can't answer that. You want to meet with a financial advisor to make the best decision that you have to make at the time that you have to make it. So will your benefit be calculated 2 or 2.5%? Drop at age 60, as I mentioned earlier, with 10 years is calculated 2%, but that same group may come out ahead not doing drop to get to service retirement at the 2.5% benefit factor. Because once in at 2%, you're always at 2%. Now, many of you are not at the 2%, but some of you do have that decision to make. Another group, what if I know I'm about to have a significant salary increase? Let's say you change your position. Let's say you're going from classroom to administration, or you're going from high school to university. That tends to be a significant change in pay that won't be reflective in all of your highest years going into drop if that happens before you go into drop. So you may have to choose between where's my career going and do I want to participate in drop? Similarly, how long do I plan to work after my drop participation ends? If you know right here and now you're working 35 years or you're working 40 years, drop may not be what's best for you. But you want to get your estimates from TRSL and reach out to a financial advisor to make that decision. Applying for retirement. So once you decide, some of you are probably 5 minutes from retirement. Well, I think we're all 5 minutes away from retirement, but how many of us are eligible to retire in 5 minutes, right? That's the question, friends. So you may be 5 months, 5 weeks, 5 years away from being eligible to retire or enter drop. The way that we apply for retirement with TRSL, you go through member access at trsl.org. You could submit that Form 11 online, or you can submit it by fax, mail, or you can scan and email it to us. If you're entering drop, it's just that Form 11 only. If you're retiring after drop, those of you in drop who are saying, I'm ready to retire now, or I'm ready to retire a little later, you submit a Form 11H, which you can also do online, which means I'm headed out of here. Check, please. A Form 15D for direct deposit. That's going to be our fruits. The first of the month check, we get that as long as we're here. So you might be 99 years old, still collecting that retirement check every month. And our federal tax form, the W-4P. Applying through member access, submitting the Form 11 under the My Retirement dropdown, it's apply for service retirement, ILSB, or drop. Under, if we're applying for retirement after drop or during your drop period, it's apply for retirement at end of drop participation. So you can do that online as well. Either way, we will send you a letter to confirm receipt that will go to your home U.S. mailing address, as in your actual physical mailbox is where that will go. We have to explain that to the kids. When we say mail, they think we mean email, but we literally mean mail when we say mail. So I know y'all get it. Y'all are my people. Applying through member access, your information automatically preloads, and that information is made available to you. You can make changes if necessary, so no worries there. A common question we often get, and it's a very important question because it's something that we earn. It's something that we have worked very hard for. We've either used it a lot or we've saved it a lot or somewhere in between. And that's going to be our sick leave. Sick leave does not make us eligible for retirement. We don't suddenly become eligible for retirement. Oh, sick leave will help get you to 30 years, or sick leave will help get you to 25 years. You need to cross that finish line to enter drop or retire all on your own. While in drop, as we've discussed, you're going to earn and use that sick leave. At the time of entering drop or at the time of retirement, your employer will pay you up to 25 days at that day rate of pay upon that retirement. At the time of retirement, so 4 to 6 months later, unused sick leave may be converted to service credit, which can increase your retirement benefit. And this conversion happens 4 to 6 months later. So we will send you a link to, or Clip's already dropped it in for us, for the sick leave brochure with the unused sick leave conversion chart. So your first 25 days is paid to you upon entering drop or exiting the system entirely. Then anything additional up to 1 year is automatically converted to service credit. So as my colleague likes to say, it's like sprinkles on a cupcake. You bought them, you paid for them, the cake's already baked. Sprinkles are going to make it sweeter, and you're going to enjoy that in your retirement. So if you have, let's say, half a year of sick leave left over after you're paid your 25 days and you retire at 25 years of service, your calculation will be based on 25.5 years, as if you had worked those 0.5 years. You may retire at 30 years, and you may have a whole year of sick leave that comes in. You'd be calculated on 31 years. So know that that is something that you will be able to enjoy. Leave credit, annual leave. Some of you are 12-month employees, and as 12-month employees of state agencies, colleges, universities, technical colleges, school board office, you may earn annual leave. Annual leave is different. You are paid up to 300 hours at the time of retirement, and then after that, you'll need to talk to your employer to see what your options are, because there is no automatic conversion to service credit like there is for annual leave. How, in fact, does TRSL pay your benefits? And my section is kind of winding down. So we're going to talk a little bit about how TRSL pays your first of the month check. Think about what questions you have and pop them in the question box, because I have a couple of questions for you too, which I'll ask in just a minute. Cliff is not looking forward to it. That's okay. He's had to listen to these jokes for years. So how does TRSL pay your benefits? Your monthly benefits are on the first of the month. So remember that that's your fruits and your veggies. First of every month, that very first check is a paper check. After that, it will be direct deposited. You can only cancel that retirement or drop participation if we have not got to that first date and that first payment, okay? Monthly estimated benefits for a few months after we officially retire, we're estimating what we owe you, so we can't overpay you and collect. We pay you a little bit less than what you're due. And then a few months later, we catch you up with a retroactive check. And if you work after drop, that will also include that number at that point in time. Now, I'm going to turn to see if y'all have any questions with Cliff before we talk about these other subjects in this next portion that he will guide us through, which is mainly the drop account. But I do have a question for Cliff before we go to the questions here. So, I got to put it back on. I'm going to be official when I'm giving out my joke. Again, defrost your turkey or pick up your ham, whatever you need to do, friends. All right. Or double check with that cousin that you're not sure if they're coming. You want to make sure you have enough plates, right? What do you call a running turkey, Cliff?
What?
Fast food. Yeah. Okay. So what retirement questions do we have, Cliff?
Oh, good. Quick question. Would you mind going back over and just showing the slide for, I know this is back a little ways.
It's okay.
But the eligibilities for the windows.
Can do. I'm going to go back to the retirement window. Excuse me, the drop window rather. Remember, we don't choose our drop window. It chooses us. And it's a very squeaky window, as in it might close on you. So you want to think about that in advance. I don't want to hit too many. Oh, yep, I went back just enough. All right, it's right up here.
Oh, no, just wanted to re-see it. They just want to see it again.
There you go. You can do a screenshot, and not only are we recording this one and posting it, maybe there might be a couple of edits. He might edit out my jokes. and maybe this beautiful hat that I'm wearing. Can y'all?
The hat stays.
Oh, the hat stays, absolutely. So we're going to post this and the handout. So both of that will be posted, and you'll get an email link to that tomorrow when hopefully your turkey is already thawed. I'm like really concerned about everyone's turkeys.
All right. So while you're going back to the slide that we need to be on, can you? Someone was a little confused. What is the difference between a monthly average compensation and the drop deposit each month?
So your monthly average compensation is likely what you're being paid now if you are at your highest years of income. So your drop deposit is what would have been your retirement check, and your retirement check is a portion of that. So at 25 years, that would be 62.5% of your highest pay. At 30 years, that would be 75% of your highest pay. It's in 2.5 increments per year. So your FAC, your monthly average compensation, is your highest consecutive 3 or 5 years. And that's one of the numbers that calculates the formula for the drop deposit, which is what would have been your retirement check had you retired.
Yeah. Also, I think somebody may be talking about the on their member access page. It shows monthly average compensation.
It does.
There, which is your average monthly salary.
Probably what you're getting paid now. Not always your highest, but your highest, which you may be at right now, or it may have been a few years ago.
Correct. It's the average salary, the highest average salary that you currently have. That's what it is on the member statement.
Correct.
Someone asked a question. I'm hearing that I would lose my retirement income if I lived past 99 years old.
That is completely inaccurate. You will be receiving your retirement income. It is guaranteed in the Louisiana Constitution that you'll be receiving that a lifetime amount. Now, your drop account, that will zero out at some point because that's a savings account. But your retirement check from TRSL is a lifetime retirement check for you for the rest of your actual life.
Awesome. 2 more questions, and then we can jump in. When you retire and rehire,
ooh, ouch,
do you start to pay into TRSL again?
So that is a very complicated question. That's why I said the ouch, because that's like a 20-minute answer. So let me give you the very short version of returning to work after retirement. Just so we're clear, I'm not talking about working after drop. In working after drop, let's say we went into drop and then we kept working after drop. That's still working. We're continuing employment, okay? But returning to work after retirement means we turned in our keys and our badge. We went out to the car with our leftover cake and our balloons and the card and stuff, right? So returning to work after retirement gets very complicated. If you come back into the TRSL umbrella, if you will, there are lots of different things that could be happening. You could be paying back in the system, or maybe you're not. You could be receiving your retirement check at the same time, or maybe not. You could have a waiting limit, or you could not. There's so many different things to think about. And it's kind of hard to talk about because it's all based on what date you actually retire. And unless I'm mistaken, no one on the line has retired, because we're not talking about what date you enter drop or what date you exit drop. What date we turn in our keys and badge and retire. And there are tweaks to the return to work program every couple of years at least. So I'm declining to answer that question fully because answers may vary. However, I will say, if you want an easy button, who wants an easy button? I want the easy button. If you return to work outside of the TRSL umbrella, it's not coming from the same account. So if you return to work at a system that pays into a different retirement system, let's say ELSERS, or let's say lasers, or let's say you want to go work for the parish, or maybe not parish school board office, but parish library, or you want to work in the private sector, or for the federal government, or for a private school, or for anything out of state. That, my friends, is your easy button for returning to work after officially retiring. Any other questions, Cliff?
Yes. Somebody had a question. I finished drop this December. Very excited for this person. All I'm required to do if I plan to continue to work for a couple of more years is notify the personnel director of my school district, correct? No other paperwork is required?
Correct. There's no forms to work after drop with TRSL. Your employer will have to let us know that you are working after drop, and they'll have to send information over to us. Now, while we are switching out, I do have another quick question. So, what did the carrot say to the celery?
What?
Stop stalking me. Okay, I'm just so good with the segues. Not really. All right, I'm going to pass this over to Cliff. We're going to go ahead and switch out. And I definitely still have 3 more dad jokes. You don't have to be a dad to tell dad jokes. Anyway, I'll catch y'all on the other side, friends.
All right. Real quick before we get any farther, Jerry. Oh, actually, let me check something real quick. Is my microphone on? Yes. Okay. Perfect. Real quick, do me one favor when you go over there. Well, actually, two. Would you hand me my water bottle? I forgot. We were in a hurry, and I left my water bottle over there. Also, am I on camera? That's the other question I had to ask.
You are on camera.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I see you right here.
Great. Thank you guys for coming again and coming to us on your holiday week as you prepare for Thanksgiving. I get to cover the second part, so we're going to talk about the after drop section. We're going to cover withdrawals, how to pull funds out of the system, how often, how much, some tax considerations that you'll need to talk about, as well as learning how to do all that. You'll need what's called a withdrawal method letter. We'll also talk about the drop account forms. What forms do you need to fill out in order to actually start getting those funds out of the system? So when can you draw out these funds? By law, the way it works is that you have to be retired in order to get the funds out. You also have to have a retirement payment. In other words, one payment has to have been paid to you before we can start giving out that. Now, some people are saying, well, what if I don't want to take out the funds immediately? That's fine. You don't have to take it out after that first check. You actually have 12 months from the day you retire in order to make a decision on how you want to take those funds out. And that could be end of the year. So we have a lot of people who what they like to do is at the end of the year. So in other words, in January, they retire in May, maybe in June, and then they don't start looking at withdrawing the funds until January because they've started a new fiscal year for tax purposes. So that may be something that you want to do, or you may want to wait a full 12 months to decide how you want to take out these funds. It's completely up to you. Just know that if for some weird reason, and yes, we have had this happen, you forget about your drop account, although we will send you notices to remind you. But if you forget about your drop account and don't make a decision on how to start taking these funds within 12 months of your retirement date, then we will automatically start sending you what's called the minimum distribution payment. We'll send that to you directly, and that'll be kind of a reminder, hey, you have funds, you need to start taking these out. Now, how do we pay out these withdrawals? They can be paid out on the 15th of the month. Your retirement check happens on the 1st, and then drop money is paid out on the 15th. Now, remember, retirement checks on the 1st of the month, every month for the rest of your life. The drop accounts are paid out on the 15th, only as long as you have funds in the account. I do want to make mention of one early age penalty, and I always have to make mention of this. We're just going to cover it real quick, and then we'll move on. Most of you here are going to be exempt from the early withdrawal penalty age. Simple question. All you have to ask yourself is, in the year that I am retiring, whatever year I am retiring, in that calendar year, so from January 1st, December 31st, in that year, am I going to be 55 or older starting in that year? If the answer is yes, there is no early withdrawal penalty. If the answer is no, then there may be a federal early withdrawal penalty for federal taxes, and they will withhold. I'm always horrible at this. It is an additional 10% or it's called early withdrawal. for that account. Now, for your withdrawals themselves, you can look at a couple of things for tax purposes, for federal taxes. And this is a key phrase that you want to remember. Is my drop account going to last 10 or more years? If it is protected, or if it is not going to last 10 or more years, then it is subject for federal taxes to have 20% withheld for federal taxes. If it's going to last 10 or more years, then it's just going to be your normal federal tax withholding rate, whatever you're normally claiming. Married in 1, single in 3, whatever you put down, that's how we withhold, provided it lasts more than 10 years or 10 or more years. And you'll see what I mean about that in a couple of minutes when we talk about the types of withdrawal options. Those options, there are several to choose from on how you want to take these funds out. We always recommend talking to a financial planner about this so you can make better use of those funds that you have in your drop account. You may take them out as a direct payment, pull the money all out to you. You may choose the money as a rollover, moving it over into an IRA or a 401 or another qualified plan. Or you may do a split of those things. In other words, a direct payment to you of some of those funds and rolling the rest of it over into the IRA or 401, the qualified plan. You may also look at taking out partial withdrawals, and that would be monthly or annual payments to you, or even one that's called a partial single sum. In other words, I'm going to take out a lump sum of money for me, and then the rest of it may be in monthly or annual payments. It's a lot to take in. So we're going to take a few moments, if that's okay with you guys, and we're going to go over all of those. The first one is that total account withdrawal. Simply saying, I'm going to take all that money out of the drop account and pay it out directly to me. By taking it out in that lump sum, it's going to make that balance last less than 10 years, meaning you're going to have some tax penalties or tax consequences, not really a penalty, a consequence. And that is, we're going to withhold 20% for federal taxes. We also have to see if you're going to be under the age of 55 during the calendar year of your retirement. If that's the case, then there's that 10% penalty. To give you an example, this is Susan. Susan is 73. She looks great for her age. She has $100,000 in her drop account, and she's decided that she's going to take all of her funds out and move to Australia with her husband. In doing so, that means we're going to withhold 20% for federal taxes. That means that $100,000 becomes $80,000 as a check to her. Because she's 73, she's older than 55, meaning she's not going to have to worry about that 10% penalty either when she files for her taxes at the end of the year. Another example is a rollover. Rollovers must be rolled over to a qualified or moved over to a qualified plan here in the United States. That means no Cayman Islands, no Swiss bank accounts. Uncle Sam has to be able to keep track of it. These accounts to an IRA or other qualified plan, there is no tax withholding. We're not going to withhold any federal taxes at the time that they are rolled over into those eligible accounts. And that's a 401A, a 401k, a 403B, 457, 408A, Roth IRA, and traditional IRAs. Now, we don't withhold any taxes at that time, but when you start pulling the funds out of those accounts, you will pay federal taxes on that time. Also, by moving it over into those financial institutions, you lose our state tax exemption. So it will be federally and state taxed. You are no longer state tax exempt. Now, you can also choose a direct payment rollover split. In other words, I'm going to say, well, I need some money for me, and then the rest of it I want to roll over into a qualified plan because it'll earn more interest for me in the long run. That is fine. The direct payment you receive, whatever amount that is subject to 20% federal withholding for taxes. The minimum amount that you can roll over or need to roll over to a qualified plan is $500. You can do more than that, but the minimum amount is $500. This is Bob. Bob needs a haircut and has $100,000 in his drop account. He wants to take half of his funds out as a direct payment to him to pay off his house, and then the rest of it he wants to roll over to a qualified IRA plan. Because he's pulling half of those funds out, instead of $50,000 he has to pay that 20% federal withholding. So he's going to get $40,000 in cash for him to pay off his house. The other $50,000, because it's not taxed when it rolled over to that IRA or qualified plan, goes over. But then when he goes to pull the money out of that account, it will be subject to state and federal taxes. We can also look at monthly withdrawals from TRSL. You just simply say, I want X amount of dollars every month out of this account until it's gone. There is a requirement. You can't come to us and say, Cliff, I just want $3 out of this account every month until it's gone, to try to make it last as long as possible. We have a chart by the IRS, and it's an IRS life expectancy table. It simply says, on average, for the average human being, if you are this age, you are going to live this long. And we base your minimum withdrawals based on how long you're planning on living based on this chart. I hope you beat the chart. I hope everyone beats that chart. This amount, you can either be that minimum or any amount above that. Every 12 months, you do have the option to change this amount. You may increase it, but once you do, you cannot decrease it. So if you move from $1,000 to $1,500 the first year to the second year, and then on the end of the second year, you say $1,500 is too much, I want to move it down back to $1,000, we can't. You're still at $1,500. Also understand that this account, if you're going to pull out any amount that you set, understand that, remember that question, is it going to last 10 or more years? If the amount you've selected is going to make it last less than 10 years, every payment you receive will have 20% withheld for federal taxes. This is Jane. I almost said Molly. Jane has $100,000 in her drop account, and she wants to have her drop account basically use it to offset part of her retirement income. So she wants to make this last at least 10 years. That way she avoids that 20% penalty. In doing so, it means she can withdraw $700 to $800 a month out of this, out of this account, and it will last at least 10 years so she can enjoy those funds without having to worry about the offset. You can also say, well, I don't want it in monthly payments. I want it in annual payments. Annual payments, you tell us what month you want it to be. It can be any one you want it to be. Just like in the monthly payments, you can select how much you're going to have based on the IRS minimum withdrawal or anything above that. Every 12 months, you do get to change that option if you want, but you can go up, but you can never go back down. It has to go to a U.S. bank. Again, no Cayman Islands, any of that. You tell us what month you want that check is, and then on the 15th of the month, we will deposit that check into your account. This is Joe. Joe has $100,000 in his account, and he wants to treat his family to a tropical vacation every year. To do that, Joe also is thinking about, is the account going to last 10 or more years? And because of that, he knows he wants to do that 10 or more years to avoid that 20% federal withholding. Means he gets $8,000 to $9,000 per year in this. Every year he can come back to us and say, well, I want to increase it. But again, remember, he can never go back down. Another thing you can do is what's called a partial single sum withdrawal. It can be taken pretty much any time, once in the lifetime of your lifetime, or if it's your beneficiary, they can take it out. Spousal beneficiary, they can take it out. You can take it out at the time of your retirement, or even after your withdrawals have already started. Rules are you have to be at least age 55 at the time of retirement. And taking this lump sum out, remember, is it going to affect the lifespan of this account, making it last less than 10 years? If it does, every payment after that will be a direct deposit. So you always want to be thinking about that. This is Linda. Linda is 73 with $100,000 in her account too. She wants to withdraw $25,000 to buy a new, well, let's be honest, it's a new-ish car. new car to her. And then the rest of it receive in monthly payments. Taking out $25,000 in the lump sum. Remember, we were required to withhold 20% for federal taxes, meaning she's going to get $20,000 in cash. And then the rest of it, if she wants to take it out in monthly payments, $500 to $600 to make it last at least 10 years. In these options, it's a lot to look at. You can be Joe, you can be Bob, you can be Mary, you can be Linda. All these different options are available to you. We really do recommend talking to a financial planner or a tax accountant with this fund. Having a comma in your bank account is awesome, but understanding the proper use of it is even better. The tax considerations. I think I've said this enough. I'm pretty sure just once or twice. Always be looking at the taxes when we're coming out with this. Understand that less than 10 years, 20% is going to be withheld for federal taxes. More than 10 years, your normal tax rate for federal taxes. You are state tax exempt, provided you continue to live here in Louisiana. You move out of the state, you lose the state tax exemption. You roll the funds over into an IRA or a 401 or qualified plan, you lose state tax exemption as well. Again, here's the chart for that. Also, I want to remind this, I talked to someone last week over at Benjamin Franklin. How you guys doing? I know some of you are here. You have to claim the exemption, meaning when you file your taxes, the state taxes this year, or the year that you're retired, you're going to get a 1099 from us that shows your income from us. 1099-R is a 1099 retired fund that comes out to you. When you file your taxes for the state, you have to claim the exemption. On the bottom of the screen here, you'll see a little box. This is what's going to pop up when you do your taxes, or H&R Block, or whoever it is doing your taxes. They have to fill this part out, showing that you retired on this date, or your spouse retired on this date, in order to claim the exemption. If you don't claim the exemption, you will owe taxes. Now, earlier we talked about taking it out in monthly payments, annual payments, lump sums, all those things. How do I know what my estimated life payment is? Or how do I know what a 10-year payment is? Or if I take a lump sum, what happens? Well, when you fill out your Form 11H, and that is the first form you need in order to start the retirement process after drop. To go into drop, you filled out a Form 11. To retire after drop, you're going to fill out a Form 11H. I always refer to it as head to the house. That's how I remembered it. This form simply says, my name is Cliff. I was in drop, or I finished drop, and now I want to retire. Once you fill out that form and send it to us, we will get it, and you will get what's called a withdrawal method letter. That letter shows you your drop account balance, which you can also look at Member Access. But on this letter, it'll show that. It'll show the life expectancy for you as the member. It'll also show you possible withdrawal amounts based on a total balance withdrawal, or even possible withdrawal amounts for the partial single sum taking at the beginning of your retirement. This is what that letter kind of looks like. This is a cutout part of that letter. In that one, it shows for this member, they had $135,000 in their drop account. They wanted a partial single sum of $20,000, leaving them $115,000 and some change. They are, based on this person's life expectancy from the chart, 29.6 years of estimated retirement benefit. Their life is what it is. Based on that, it'll do the calculation and show you what taking it out in monthly or annual payments will be. Lifespans based on that 29.6 years, and then the 10 years just divided by 120 payments is what it comes out to be. So it kind of gives you those guidelines so you can see what's going on with your account. You are ready to retire. Some of you are like, Cliff, where do I send in these forms, or what forms do I need to fill in? So first thing we need to fill out, again, like I said, the Form 11H is the one that tells us you're ready to retire. When you're ready to start collecting the retirement benefit itself, those are some other forms that we have to fill out. If you are under the age of 73, you're going to fill out a Form 11J. And that's the withdrawal method that you're going to tell us. I'm taking it out in monthly payments, in annual payments, or I'm rolling it over, or I'm splitting it, roll over and part to me, whatever it may be, is the Form 11J. If you are over the age of 73 and over, then that is when you're going to fill out the Form 11N. It's just a requirement, similar forms, but it's just because of an age in there. We also need your federal tax withholding for your drop account, and that is the Form W4P, and then that's for regular withholding, and then the W4R is for your drop withdrawals. If you are receiving this drop account, and it is not going to be for the life expectancy, it's going to be less than the life expectancy, maybe 10 years or less. You will also, if you're married, also need to fill out the Form 11G, or your spouse will have to fill out the Form 11G, which is a spousal consent form. Because the state is a community property state, we are required to notify the spouse of where these funds are going. And speaking of that, we are, like I said, a community property state. That means any benefits you receive, that is regular benefits, refunds, drop money, ILSB, death benefits, any of those things are considered community property, which means your spouse or former spouse may be entitled to a portion. And that really depends on, in your divorce paperwork, what did it show? Did they waive their rights? Well, if they did, then they get nothing out of these benefits. Or are they entitled to a portion? With that documentation, we will then split the check and give them their share of your retirement and of your drop funds. But it's ultimately the court decides how much of those funds that is. They send us the documents. The state or the former spouse sends those documents showing that they are entitled to a portion of that with that documentation. We are getting close to the end. And I know Jerry has been in the background answering a lot of questions. Are there any questions that before you get to?
I know where you're going. I know you're going.
Before you get to those,
I get it.
Any questions?
Of course, because our members are important.
All right. Yes.
So I will add real quick that what I put into the chat, Cliff put some really helpful things in here earlier. I dropped in some drop account information in a flyer and some information on taxes that would be helpful for y'all. So we do have a question. A member asks, so I'm going to be age 53 once I finish drop. Am I understanding correctly? Will I be penalized the 10% because unless I wait to retire at age 55?
So you need to wait until the calendar year you are going to be 55. So if your birthday is in December of that year, you can retire in June of that year, at the end of the school year, and be okay, because it's still that the rest of that year you're going to get the age 55. If you are not age 55 in that calendar year that you're retiring, then yes, you will be subject to a 10% early withdrawal penalty.
And just to clarify, that's based on when we actually retire, not the date we exit drop, not the date we enter drop. So I do have a question for you, Cliff. I've been waiting to ask you this one on camera. What did Obi-Wan Kenobi say to Luke Skywalker on Thanksgiving?
What, Jerry?
May the forks be with you.
Oh, very nice.
One more, and then I'll let you continue to close
this up.
Great.
There's more.
Oh, yes. Can a turkey jump higher than the Empire State Building?
Can it?
Yes, a building can't jump.
Oh, thank you, Jerry.
I've got one for the end, but I'll let you wrap up. I'll let you wrap us up.
Thank you. Things that you can do now. Let me talk to you about that before we get any farther into the turkey festivities. That is Jerry's jokes. Things you can do now, even if you're not in drop yet or you're in drop, making sure we have updated information, making sure you've registered for your member access using a personal email address. Make sure we have updated contact information. If you want to get an estimate, if you're talking to, remember Jerry talked earlier about working after drop. If you want to, we can do an estimate for you, but you'll need to submit a Form 10 in order for us to do that. That form looks very similar to this. Oh, sorry, let's go back up one real quick. If you have questions about Social Security, and I love to be able to say this now, because they have gotten rid of the windfall elimination provision or the government pension offset, WEP and GPO, are now gone. We, people who work for the state of Louisiana, are now eligible for our full Social Security benefits or spousal benefits from Social Security. But for more information on Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, any of those things, you'll need to contact Social Security at ssa.gov. Now, to do an estimate for those of you who are after drop, in order to do one, unfortunately, you can't do it on the calculator on Member Access. But what you'll need to do is just submit a Form 10 to us. And then from there, you just say, I want to look at retiring on this date or this date. Send that to us. And in about 2 weeks, they will send you back that estimate. Speaking of Member Access, in it is a great tool for you currently right now, so you can update some information, mailing address, email address, your name, applying for drop. You can't use it for after drop, unfortunately, but that's what Form 11H is for. You can also look at your drop accounts, looking up your beneficiaries and your annual statements. Just a little spoiler of things to come. By this summer, we will be launching a new secure portal for our TRSL members called My TRSL. Be looking for the information on that through our social media channels in the near future, probably by early spring. You'll see something about that. All the information we've covered today can be found online. The brochures that we've posted into the chat are all available on our website, as well as the forms and webinars just like this one. We've recorded all of them. They're available for you to watch at a later date through our webinar section, as well as newsletters, quarterly letters that give you information about TRSL. As we do wrap up, if you have specific questions about your account, you can contact us Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30. You can call us, and I'll give you that number in just a second. But you can also, anytime, go to asktrsl.org, type in your question there. It'll have a little section where you'll type in your name, your information, and then there's a box underneath it that has what question you want to ask. If you want to ask Jerry a question about a joke, all you have to do is write, "Hey, Jerry," in the question box, and then type in your question, and Jerry will get those. Or if you want to write, "Hey, Cliff," Cliff will get those. I'll get those. If you don't want to talk to us, we went too long, Jerry's jokes are horrible, whatever you'd like, you don't have to put our names on there. Just put in Ask TRSL, type in your question. Just a heads up, though, I just want to warn you, besides doing webinars and great comedy acts, Jerry, what else do we do?
We also help out with webmasters.
That's right. We're also webmasters. So we're probably going to see them either way. If you want to contact us, contact the office to talk to someone about it. We do, not about the jokes, but about your retirement. You can call the number 1-877-ASK-TRSL Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30. If you happen to be in the Baton Rouge area, we take walk-in appointments. Again, Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30 for those. Also want to make mention that we are on social media. We are on, actually this hadn't been updated, but we are on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and LinkedIn. All you have to do is search at TRSL online, and you will find our social media pages on there. We'd ask that you follow us, you like us, you subscribe to all of those things so we can keep you updated on some information. I'm going to throw Jerry a curveball and ask her a question. Jerry, what do you get when you cross a centipede and a turkey?
A mess.
Turkey legs for everyone.
Yay.
Thank you very much.
All right, last one. Since you open the door.
One last joke for the day.
All right. What did the sweet potato pie say to the pecan pie?
What?
You want a piece of me?
And that's how we're ending today's workshop. Thank you guys so much for coming out and spending some of your day with us, learning about your retirement. If you have any more questions about anything, please don't hesitate to contact TRSL. We'll be more than happy to help you with any of that. So thank you guys so much, and you have a great day.